Finding side lengths. In this lesson, we'll be given triangles with an angle and various sides. We want to find the missing side. So the way we do this, the key here is doing SOHCAHTOA. Remember, SOHCAHTOA, S stands for sine, and that's opposite of hypotenuse. C stands for cosine, and that's adjacent of hypotenuse. And T stands for TOA, tan, opposite of adjacent. So that lets us know what sides of the triangle we have. So if we do A here, all we want to do is in our head like reference what sides we have. Here's my angle, that makes this guy opposite. Here's the right angle, that makes this opposite, opposite of that hypotenuse. And then here's the missing side, and that's my adjacent. And then we look at what we have. In this triangle, we have the angle 32, and what values do we have? We have the hypotenuse, which is 7, and we're looking for the adjacent side. So adjacent hypotenuse, that would be cosine, so GTOA, right? A and H. So this lets us know that cosine of our angle equals x over 7, like that. So that's how we set up, and then we just got to solve it. So we'll solve for x, we multiply both sides by 7. These will cancel out, and we get 7 cosine of 32 equals x. How do I solve this? Well, I use my calculator. That. Now we want to make sure we're in degrees, so I'm going to go to mode, because by default you should generally be in radians. So we're going to go to mode, we're going to switch over to degrees, hit enter, then we get out of this. So we're going to type it in, 7 times cosine 32, and we get 5.936. We want 3 sig figs, so 5.94 centimeters. Alright, so that's the length of this side, 5.94 centimeters. Let's do the next one, same idea. So in this one, here's my angle, that makes this opposite. This is my hypotenuse, and this is my adjacent. We have adjacent and opposite, so that's TOA, OA. So tan of my angle equals adjacent or opposite, right? That's opposite of adjacent, so 5 over x. I just gotta solve this. I would multiply both sides by x. Cancel that out. X tan of 64 equals 5, and then we divide both sides by tan of 64. So I get 5 over tan of 64. And then again, we just use our calculator. So let's bring that back up. So 5 divided by tan of 64. So 3 sig figs, 2.44 centimeters. That's the general idea. So let's do one more, make sure we got this. So this one, find the unknowns, correct two decimal places. So we have two sides now that we're missing. So here, it's your choice. So here's my angle. Let's start off the same way. This is opposite. Here's the right angle. So this is adjacent, hypotenuse, sorry, and this is adjacent. So you can solve for any one you want first. Let's solve for adjacent, I guess. So in this case, if I solve for the adjacent one, so you just gotta pick two. Let's do opposite and adjacent, so that's a tan again. So tan of 42 would equal 9.7 over x. Solve the exact same way. Multiply by x, divide by tan of 42. I'm just do it all in one move here. So 9.7 divided by tan of 42. Right, so multiply by x and then divided by tan of 42. I got that. We'll type this into our calculator. They want two decimal places this time. And I get 10.77 centimeters. Now they want us to find, remember we got to find all the missing sides. So the 9.7, x is now 10.77, and we have y. Now since we had to solve for y here, sorry, here's our side, here's our right angle, very important. So you have two choices. You could set up another one. You could do opposite hypotenuse. You could do sine of 42 equals opposite of hypotenuse. Or since it's a right triangle and you have two sides, you could just do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Pythagorean theorem. Versus 10.77 plus 9.7 equals y squared. And then we'll take the square root of both sides to find our answer. Right, this is a hypotenuse. Remember, hypotenuse is always your c. That's the important part. Everything else doesn't matter. So you can do it that way, or you could just do set up another equation. It's your choice. Either way, you get the same answer. Let's get this answer real quick, and then we're done with this lesson. So I'm going to do 10.77 squared plus 9.7 squared. Then we take a square root of that. Now I'm just going to go through and select my answer and get that. And remember, so I'm going to get y equals 14.49. They wanted 2 decimal places, and there we go, approximately. And that's the lesson.